Brian Lara, the Prince of Trinidad and the Master of Batting. Brian Lara is a former West Indian cricketer and captain, who is widely regarded as one of the greatest batsmen of all time. He holds the record for the highest individual score in both Test and first-class cricket, with 400 not out and 501 not out respectively. He also holds the record for the most runs scored in a single over of a Test match, with 28 runs. He was a left-handed batsman with a graceful and elegant style, who could dominate any bowling attack with his flair and aggression. He played for the West Indies from 1990 to 2007, scoring over 20,000 runs in all formats of the game. He was awarded the Sir Garfield Sobers Trophy, ICC Cricketer of the Year, in 2008, and was inducted into the ICC Hall of Fame in 2012. He is also one of the 3 cricketers to receive the BBC Overseas Sports Personality of the Year, along with Sir Garfield Sobers and Shane Warne. Early life and career. Brian Lara was born on 2 May 1969 in Santa Cruz, Trinidad and Tobago. He was one of 11 children of Pearl and Bunty Lara, who were both cricket enthusiasts. He started playing cricket at the age of 6 and soon showed his talent and passion for the sport. He attended the Harvard Coaching Clinic in Port of Spain, where he received coaching from former West Indies players. He made his first-class debut for Trinidad and Tobago at the age of 18, scoring 92 against Barbados. He was selected for the West Indies under-19 team that toured England in 1989, where he scored 745 runs in 6 matches, including 3 centuries. He made his international debut for the West Indies senior team in 1990, at the age of 20, against Pakistan in a one-day international, ODI, in Lahore. He scored 11 runs in his first innings, and 44 in his second. He made his Test debut in the same series, in Karachi, scoring 44 and 5. Rise to fame. Lara established himself as a regular member of the West Indies team in the early 1990s, playing alongside legends like Vivian Richards, Malcolm Marshall, and Curtly Ambrose. He was a prolific batsman, who could score runs in any condition and against any opposition. He scored his maiden Test century against Australia in 1993, in Sydney, scoring 277 runs in a drawing match. He followed it up with another century against the same team, in Adelaide, scoring 182 runs in a losing cause. He also scored his maiden ODI century against Pakistan in 1993, in Sharjah, scoring 128 runs in a winning cause. He was part of the West Indies team that reached the semi-finals of the 1992 and 1996 World Cups, but could not win the trophy. Peak performance. Lara reached the peak of his career in the mid-1990s, when he broke several world records and became the best batsman in the world. He scored 375 runs against England in 1994, in Antigua, breaking the record for the highest individual score in Test cricket, held by Sir Garfield Sobers since 1958. He also scored 501 not out against Durham in 1994, in Birmingham, breaking the record for the highest individual score in first-class cricket, held by Hanif Mohammad since 1959. He became the first and only batsman to score 500 runs in an innings in any form of cricket. He also scored 3 consecutive Test centuries against Australia in 1995, in Jamaica, Barbados, and Australia, scoring 213, 153 not out, and 100 respectively. He was named as the captain of the West Indies team in 1997, after Courtney Walsh retired from the post. He led his team in 1947 Tests and 125 ODIs, but had a mixed record as a leader. He resigned from the captaincy in 1999 after a poor performance in the 1999 World Cup. Legendary status. Lara continued to perform at a high level in the late 1990s and early 2000s despite the decline of West Indies cricket. He was the lone star of the West Indies batting lineup and often carried the team on his shoulders. He was the only West Indian to score over 1,000 runs in a calendar year 5 times: 1993, 1995, 2001, 2003, and 2005. He was also the only West Indian to score over 10,000 runs in both Test and ODI cricket. He scored 400 not out against England in 2004 in Antigua, breaking his own record for the highest individual score in Test cricket, and becoming the first and only batsman to score 400 runs in an innings in international cricket. He also scored 28 runs in a single over against South Africa in 2003 in Johannesburg, breaking the record for the most runs scored in an over in Test cricket, held by George Bailey since 1958. He was part of the West Indies team that won the 2004 ICC Champions Trophy in England, where he scored 71 in the final against England. He also played in the 2003 and 2007 World Cups, but could not repeat the success of the past. Final years and retirement. Lara's form and fitness began to decline in the late 2000s as he entered his late 30s. He struggled to score runs against the top teams and faced criticism for his captaincy and attitude. He was reinstated as the captain of the West Indies team in 2006 after Shivnarine Chanderpaul resigned from the post. He led his team in 15 tests and 25 ODIs, but had a poor record as a leader. He announced his retirement from international cricket in 2007 at the age of 37. He played his last test match against Pakistan in 2006 in Karachi, scoring 61 and 21. He played his last ODI match against England in 2007 in Barbados, scoring 18. He ended his career with 11,953 runs in 131 tests, at an average of 52.88, with 34 centuries and 48 50s. He also scored 10,405 runs in 299 ODIs, at an average of 40.48, with 19 centuries and 63 50s. He is the 7th highest run scorer in Test history, and the 9th highest in ODI history. He holds the record for the most double centuries in Test cricket, 9, and the most runs scored in a single series in Test cricket, 688. Style and technique. Lara's batting style and technique were classical and elegant, but also flamboyant and aggressive. He had a high backlift, a smooth and flowing stroke play, and a wide range of shots. He could play on both the front and back foot, and on both sides of the wicket. He was especially strong on the offside, and had a trademark cover drive that he played with a flourish. He was also adept at playing spin, and used his feet and wrists to dominate the ball. He was a confident and charismatic batsman, who could take on any challenge and entertain any crowd. He was a master of timing, placement, and acceleration, and could change the course of a match with his brilliance. He was a team player, who always played for the glory of his team and his country. He was a genius, who had a natural flair and instinct for the game. Achievements and awards. He is the 7th highest run scorer of all time in Test cricket, with 11,953 runs in 131 matches, at an average of 52.88, with 34 centuries and 48 50s. He is the 9th highest run scorer of all time in ODI cricket, with 10,405 runs in 299 matches, at an average of 40.48, with 19 centuries and 63 50s. He is the most capped West Indian in ODI cricket, with 299 matches, and the second most capped in Test cricket, with 131 matches. He is the only West Indian to score over 1,000 runs in a calendar year 5 times in Test cricket and once in ODI cricket. He is the only West Indian to score over 10,000 runs in both Test and ODI cricket. He holds the record for the highest individual score in Test cricket, with 400 not out against England in 2004. He holds the record for the highest individual score in first-class cricket, with 501 not out for Warwickshire against Durham in 1994. He holds the record for the most double centuries in Test cricket, with 9. He holds the record for the most runs scored in a single series in Test cricket, with 688 against England in 1993-94. He holds the record for the most runs scored in a single over in Test cricket, with 28 against South Africa in 2003. Conclusion. Brian Lara is a legend of West Indies cricket, who has dazzled the world with his batting prowess and charisma. He is a batsman of rare skill, flair, and courage, who has broken many records and created many memories. He is a role model for aspiring cricketers, who has shown that success can be achieved with talent, hard work, and passion. He is a humble and respectful person, who has always played the game with dignity and grace. He is a true champion, who has given his best for his team and his country. He is one of the greatest cricketers of all time, and a proud son of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. He is Brian Lara, the Prince of Trinidad and the Master of Batting. Dear viewers, we have tried our best to provide you an informative video. Please comment that how did you find this video, because your comments and opinion are very important to us. If you like the video, please subscribe our channel and give a thumb up so that you may be updated for our every effort regarding upcoming video. Take care of your good self.